Hello and welcome back to Hyrule Warriors Legend Mode. I'm MrViperfang, and last time we completed the main story of Legend Mode. And today we would be doing Sia's Tale on the Wii U. However, I'm going to be playing it on the Switch version, mainly because they added heart pieces, heart containers, and gold skulltulas to them. But I figured since I'm going to be doing that, I might as well go on ahead and cover some changes that they made to the Switch and 3DS versions that aren't even in the Wii U version, that in my opinion probably should have been there from the get-go. And other changes that I didn't even think of. But yeah, anyway, let's go on ahead and get some of the major changes out of the way, and then I'll probably talk about some of the minor changes. Yeah, that sounds like a good episode. Let's go on ahead and get started. The immediate thing you're going to notice as soon as you get into the main menu is the frame rate. Yes, this is big enough to include in the video. We finally have a smooth 60 FPS in Hyrule Warriors. Granted, it's still going to dip a little bit if there's going to be a whole bunch of enemies on the screen at once doing a bunch of actions, or if you're facing a big boss with a bunch of enemies, but it's never going to dip below 30 FPS, from what I've seen anyway. It might dip lower than that, but it's never going to get into the single digits that Hyrule Warriors Legends on the 3DS is famous for. So there's that. And in my opinion, it's still very serviceable, so screw you, PC Master Race. But let's move away from elitist mindsets and go into mechanics. The first major thing is the ability to play as multiple characters in a single level. With the touchscreen on the 3DS, or up and down on the D-pad in the Switch version, you can swap between 2 to 4 characters per mission, if the level allows it. You can even command your playable characters to go to certain locations, enemies, or keeps while you're controlling someone else. This makes things a hell of a lot easier to complete, since they'll be going off and having the CPU deal with the enemies while you're taking care of something else. And then when you're ready to control them, you can just swap to them and complete them while the computer gets no credit. Yeah, I'm that kind of a dick, aren't I? The next major change is the addition of the Ocarina and Owl statues. In the mission, The Sorceress of the Woods, Lana will plant a chest in the Deku Tree that contains the Ocarina. This will allow you to warp to different owl statues that are located throughout the level. If you want to use an owl statue to warp to, simply go up to it and press A, and then it'll be there to use to your heart's content. This makes getting to time-critical items like gold skulltulas or story-centric missions a hell of a lot easier. The last major mechanic I'm going to go over is specific to giant bosses. In the mission, The Sorceress of the Valley, Lana will instruct everyone to gather around Manhandla. When this happens, the giant boss will gain a green aura, and a number of things will happen depending on how many allies are near. When 2 show up, you gain 50% of your magic meter, and hits made against the boss will fill it up a little bit. When 3 are close by, you deplete the boss's weak point a hell of a lot faster. And when all 4 are there, you deal increased damage to the giant boss, whether or not it has its weak point up or not. So, giant bosses just became a hell of a lot easier. Now, while I wouldn't consider it as major as the other stuff I've talked about, it's important enough to note. After you complete the first mission in Legend Mode, all of the characters from the original launch, including Sia, Volga, and Wizro, are unlocked from the get-go and can be used in free mode and adventure mode. But aside from Impa, who starts at level 4, they all start at level 1, so you might want to pour some rupees into the training dojo so that they don't hinder more than help when you are able to play them in Legend Mode. And now let's go on ahead and talk about something that I am very grateful for. You can skip the chest opening cutscenes. Yep. Those little cutscenes that happen when you open up a chest with a character, boom, you can just skip them. It tells you what the item is, you just won't see that animation, so if you kind of got tired of the animation after like 5 or 6 times, maybe less, kind of like I did, then you'll probably welcome this change with open arms. And that's gonna do it. I would talk about the individual changes to the missions in each of the levels, but we'd probably be here another 10 minutes and I'd just probably end up rambling on, so I'm just gonna skip that. Next time, we're gonna go on ahead and take care of Sia's Tale, or at least start it. Later.